Hello warriors, welcome to the U Movement. I am B, and I had a request to do an oracle read since it's been a while, and man, has it ever been a while, it feels like, since I've pulled some cards. So let's see what the energy is for the collective and what messages Spirit has for us today. And before we do, let's just clear the energy, clear the noggin, get a nice clearing going. This is just a small little bit of white sage. Highly recommend to all of you out there that you get some to keep your spiritual hygiene as clean and as clear as your physical self. So we're going to start. I'm going to just jump right on in with the Spirit Animal Oracle deck by Frederick Calandini. It's a big deck, so bear with me. Let's see what the animal kingdom has to say to us, because Spirit speaks to us in all kinds of ways. One of those ways is through the animal kingdom, and there's many teachings for us that we can obtain through, and dear. Oh, haha, Swan, and I'm going to keep both of these since they want to hop out. They were stuck in my hand. So first up we have Swan, which is acceptance. Swan is a powerful image for anyone who's on the twin flame journey. So this message might be going out today to some of those twins out there that are on this journey. And what a journey it is. It is your healing journey. This is your awakening, your ascension path. And you can see in this card here, it's a solitary swan. So if you're in a state of separation, which is divinely orchestrated for your highest and greatest good, understand and coming into an acceptance about that along this path, you need to fly solo for a while. That solo flying is certainly the energy that I'm in. It's certainly the energy of the U movement and the pledge. I don't know if you did the pledge. If you haven't done the pledge, I highly recommend you go and watch the Relationship to Self episode 1, which is called The Pledge. And it's about recommitting to self and your self-healing, your self-journey, dating self for a while, putting self back into balance. I'm certainly doing that as I've just gotten out of, well, it took me 4 years to get out of, but I am out of a trauma bond, and that was an experience from hell. So if you are going through releasing some karmic attachments, understand you will need to fly solo for a while and hold on to the dream. The lizard is bringing the energy of looking towards the future. What is it that you want to manifest for yourself? What is it that you want to create? Because keeping that imagery in your mind's eye is what's going to help motivate you throughout this journey. And especially if you're on the twin flame journey, you may be getting a lot of communications via your dream world, and those aren't always good communications. Sometimes you can get nightmares as old stuff is coming up for release, for letting go, for transmuting, for clearing. So be aware of the power of dream and how it is playing out in your world. Are the dreams sending you messages? Sit with those. Maybe have a little bit of a dream diary going for yourself, or check in with somebody and say, hey, I had this really wacko dream. What do you think it meant? And sit with yourself and ask yourself, hey, I had this really wacko dream. What do you think it meant? Well, I think it meant this, that, or the other. Because the more we look off into our dreamscape, the more we will be connecting to the energy of intuitiveness and connecting to that higher wisdom that will bring us closer to those dreams that you want to make manifest. So the lizard also reminds me very much of Scorpio energy, for some reason, is coming through to me, which is all about going into the dark places. You know, if you think about it, a lizard has the capacity to go into all of those little caverns and cenotes and excavate the dark, shadowy places, the cold. There's a lot of secrets held within the dark. And Scorpio energy is very secretive energy. I have a lot of Scorpio in my chart. which is very emotional realm. So going into your emotions, your deeper, your darker emotions, to help release them so that you can be better in that energy of purity, the white energy coming through with your swan image here. So as we go into the muck to unfuck, we become purer, we become cleaner, we become cleansed and clear. So those are some lovely cards. Talking about going into the muck, we're going to go, because I don't like to have just all airy-fairy decks. This deck is the Dark Mirror. It gives us some messages from our shadow side, and we're not scared to go there because we're warriors. Just don't bypass the bliss. Warriors go into the dark stuff and really excavates it to figure out how one can heal and get into the light. That is the mission of a light worker, is to go into the dark and save yourself from the dark. There's our card up. As you save yourself from the dark, you can illuminate the path for others on it. And what we have here is card number 6, Alone in the World. And this lovely lady is stripped naked and bare. All illusions are falling away from her. She is maybe even sitting in a little bit of an energy, you can see here, of a little bit of shame, perhaps. Not a huge amount, but a little bit, as she's exposing herself to the world, feeling a sense of loneliness. So listen, on the awakening path, whatever kind of awakening path you're on, you will be alone for a period of time. It comes back to the swan that I was talking with. There is a period of time where you need to go into isolation and you need to go into your own work, inward journey. If you're distracted by relationship, by friends, by this, by that, you're not doing the inner work. So being a hermit for a period of time is very much in alignment with this energy, and understanding that the caterpillar goes into its cocoon alone. And when it's in its cocoon, it strips itself bare. It turns into goo. It turns into nothingness before it can emerge again in all its beauty as a butterfly. So this woman has stripped herself of all of her masks, all of the illusions, all of the veils, all of the things that are blocking her, so that she can be truly in her own essence, her beingness. Being and exposing yourself to the truth. She might very well be in a place that's a bathhouse to cleanse the energies as she repurifies and steps into her holiness, into her worthiness, into her divinity. So understand, it's not a bad thing to be alone. And I know it feels lonely, and in those moments when you're feeling lonely is when you need to give yourself the love and the compassion and the kindness and the attention that you wish they had, whoever they are. Is they your mother? Is they your father, your brother, your friends? Is they your partner? Is they, who is they that you wish they had treated you like that? Well, now's the time to give that to yourself. So I use the Ho'oponopono prayer, which I love, absolutely adore. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you and thank you, or thank you, I love you. And give yourself the attention, the care, the stroking. I've done some practices with bee meditations, which is all about returning and giving yourself some of that love and cultivating self-love. In the cultivation of self-love, we are cultivating a reprogramming of all the old scripts that no longer serve us, and we're cultivating a practice of raising that vibrational frequency up into a higher, lighter way of being. And you can see the robes that she has stripped from her are purple energy, white energy, and turquoise. So turquoise is all about truth and authenticity, as well as the white is connecting to, higher source, higher self, soul call, and that purple is our intuitive knowing, our ability to connect to spirit and feel and go where we're guided to go, release ourselves and surrender into the guidance of where we're being guided. As we're alone, more and more people will come into us eventually. Soul Tribe will unite, but you've got work to do. We're going to just review. We're going and accepting things as they are, not as we wish they were. We're going to go into the darker places, including our own nightmares and our own fears and insecurities, and strip ourselves so we can be alone in the world and face ourselves, face our truths. Next up, we have the Chakra Wisdom Oracle Guidebook, which was a lovely gift given to me. Interesting. I'll take them all for Christmas. Thank you very much for this gift. We've got mysticism, we've got despondence, and we've got discovery. And I'll keep them all. So I talked about the connecting to alone in the world was leading us into spirit. So again, we're being led by soul, by spirit, into something new, which means it can be cold for a period of time and isolating. She's walking this path alone, walking past all the comforts that used to exist. You know, she's not heading towards this nice, well-lit house and going to go in and have a cup of tea. No, she's on journey, allowing herself to be led, to flow along. And there's so many layers of her skirt here as she's enshrouded in this outfit that is saying, you know, this healing path, this discovery path is all about the layers and going deeper and deeper and deeper. And listen, like, hey, I get it. You want to be all in the light all the time and go have some fun, but perhaps that's not necessarily what's in your highest and greatest good. Our next card up is Despondence. This is a radical card. We can see here the energy of Mother Earth, Gaia Earth energy, and all these vines coming up, orange energy. So, and off to the side, we have this other person kind of standing in a state of jealousy or envy. What this card is telling me is very much about the sacral chakra activating. The sacral is all about our pleasure, our connecting to like creation, that earth energy of you know, Mama Earth providing all the things that we need and letting things grow and reach fruition and just standing in your own personal light. But as you're going on this path of you know, cultivating more and more joy and releasing all the other emotions, be forewarned. This card comes as a little bit of a forewarning that others may look at you like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? What's happened to you? You're not like yourself. I don't recognize you. Any number of ways to kind of minimize you and bring you down. And she doesn't care. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm going to just be me, man. I'm going to do me. I'm going to dance here in the moonlight and have a little bit of fun and grow my world. If you're receiving negative energies from somebody else, return to sender. And all that means is, you know, thanks, but no thanks. I'm not picking up what you're throwing. You're throwing daggers at me with your eyes. You're throwing daggers at me with your words. You're throwing daggers at me with your thoughts. Okay. You do you. Bye. Whatever. I'm going to just do me. If you're feeling disconnection and a sense of despondent energy of like, okay, I'm not vibing with everybody the way that I used to, that too is part of the ascension plan. It's we're not all ascending at the same time, at the same rate, and on the same wave. So you may resonate with some people and connect with people through groups and be like, yeah, I totally get you, soul sister. I know what's happening. And then your immediate family or your immediate people around you, friends that you've known for a long time, may be like, I'm just going to do what I do and I'm going to continue doing what I do. I'm going to go over here and yeah, I'm out. And that's okay. It's okay for like people to go apart for a stretch and then maybe there'll be another time in the future where they come together or not. Letting go of people is a huge part of this process. And one of the people that we let go of is our egoic self, and we discover self through practices of self-love. You can see this person here is radiating that pink love light energy, connecting to higher source, connecting to their spirit guides, connecting to the ones, whoever you want to call it, the God, source, spirit, universe, soul, opening themselves, full opening, discovering that, you know, there is a connection greater than the interconnections of the people that are around us. going within, going into heart space and heart-centered space, and leading from heart is shift in consciousness is all about, is we are moving collectively from an egoic solar plexus energy into a heart space energy. That's where we're at consciously. That's what the shift in consciousness is. It's shifting us away from ego, from that narcissistic energy that we all want rid of as quickly as possible, and moving us into heart-centeredness and understanding we are far greater than this little dramas and these little situations that we may have playing out with other people around us. A couple of full moons coming into vision here. We've got a full moon in this one, and it looks like she's dancing in a full moon behind her. So we just had a very powerful full moon. I don't know if you felt the clearing that came with it. I certainly did. Full moons help us release all that stuff that's no longer working so that we can be in our highest vibrational energy. And this energetics is all about unconditional love, 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 love. Love people for who they can be, even if they can't be who you want them to be. Love people for what the lessons that they're showing you, the triggers that they're bringing into you, the new awarenesses that are coming online. You know, the more you can step into a 5D consciousness where you're coming from things in a perspective of, you know, peace to you. We're not resonating at the exact same vibe at the moment, so I'm going to go do this and you go do that, and I love you, and peace out. Next up, I'm going to hop into my Dragon Tarot deck. I'm still wrapping my head around tarot, and this tarot is a little bit different than other tarots, so we'll see what card comes up. I might have to refer to the book because I'm still learning this particular deck. I like the dragon. Oh, we've got way too many. I'll take the first one that popped out though. And we've got the Two of Cups upright, which is a nice card because cups are all about filling your cup first. And then once you've filled your cup and your cup overfloweth to those that are around you, you can draw in, create partnerships and create situations with others where if their cup too is full, you want two full cups coming together, because when you have two full cups coming together, your powers of manifestation are multiplied exponentially, far greater than the power of two, because then you have the power of spirit, because you're in alignment with source energy. And so in the background, we even see here what looks like it could be two bushes or it could be two dragons sleeping next to each other. I'm not quite sure. The Two Cups for me, this card right now is talking about, this is the goal down the path, is bringing together, once we've gone through these phases of, uncovering and digging out through the layers and standing in our own truth and our own authenticity and our own power from a heart-centered place, we'll be able to meet up with others that resonate and can offer reciprocal energy. Because if you're constantly in an energy of an empath and you're giving and you're giving and you're giving and you're not receiving the same energies back or in balance and in equal harmony, what's going to end up happen is you're going to have turbulent waters. And this looks kind of like water in behind these cups. And it's very calm, serene waters. So when you are showing up as an empath, a highly sensitive person, and you're giving love and you're giving energy and you're receiving that back in good flow, then everything is calm and smooth and peaceful. So if you're not in that energy and things are tumultuous and somebody's cup's not full, and you've got to figure out, well, whose cup's not full? Is it my cup that's not full? Do I need to give to myself? Is it their cup that's not full? Are they in an energy of this like little jealous one over here going, well, why are you ascending and growing and I'm not? I'm going to hold you down. I'm going to pull you back. If that's the case, the lesson might be boundaries. The lesson might be communication. The lesson might be walking away. Alone. Next up, I'm going to hop into the Priestess of Light Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor and Kimberly Warrior. Weber, sorry, Weber. And there we go. We've got two that popped out. Keep them both. Ha 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 ha. We have Death and Rebirth and the Jaguar. Oh, wow. Wow. I am so digging this card right now. This tree in behind this woman looks like a vagina. And which is all about birth. There's a huge kind of like cutout in it that you can see. We have two jaguars at play here, and I had a vision of a jaguar a while ago. Anyways, this woman is harnessing great power with these two jaguars at her feet, and the white dress, a dress of purity, being in her power. Very divine feminine energy right here, able to protect herself, able to be in balance both within the light as well as her darkness. These shadowy animals that are with her are there to protect her, and that's what our shadow self does, is it's trying to protect us, but she doesn't need to hide from it. She can stand in her truth and her authenticity and ward off anything that's coming towards her. So transmuting darkness into light, and that is ultimately the light worker's path, is transmutation of all the dark shadowy stuff that we carry with us. And listen, all my videos are all about traumas and all about wounds, your inner child work, your shadow work, all of that type of stuff. The more you go into the shadow, it's like aspects of yourself hold little gifts for you to become more enlightened. And it's in transmuting, in alchemizing the dark and turning it into light, turning it into lessons, turning it into insight, turning it into awareness, that you become consciously more aware. It's that activation of higher self, but at the same time we have tree energy. So when we're coming into lightness, we need to ground ourselves deep within the earth, so we're held steady. You cannot ascend without the descension either. So descend to ascend, ground to grow. Be in your own power of combined femininity, but ability to be observant and have control over your triggers. Control. She's got absolute control over these animals. They're not running at anybody. They're just like, we're sticking by our mom, man, and our mom knows, and we got our eye on you. So that's an awesome card. I'm digging that one. And then we have Grateful Optimism, a joyous view of the future. Oh, this feels good. Her heart center is illuminated, and in behind her we have two herons or cranes, and a heron is one of my spirit animals that has been with me my whole life. So this is absolutely a beautiful card. She's sitting in mudra, and you may find yourself along this path. I'm always in different mudras that just involuntarily happen. They're called kriyas. And so she's practicing her energy of receptivity here as her heart chakra just illuminates light and love. She's got such peace and gentleness in her face, an absolute balance. I'm loving how these two cranes coming out from beside her is very much kind of like, I'm balancing my feminine and my masculine. I've created a mirror of myself within me. I've got my own divine partnership of unifying with self. And say we've got two of these panthers, which is balanced. We've got two of the Two of Cups, which is again two cups that are upright and flowing over. So two is a powerful number that we've got in this deck, and it's interesting because if we go 2 and 2 and 2, we have 6, which is our first card up, Alone in the World, with the number of those 6. Just if you're interested in numbers, I'm going to throw out that Death and Rebirth is card number 19, and Grateful Optimism, Joyous View of the Future, is card number 51, which is my age. So I dig that, and let's hop on into the Twin Flame Ascension deck, Take Me Home Oracle deck. take that one. 1010, enter your vortex, aligning with infinite abundance. Well, hell to the yes with that. We can see that we've got a spiral energy of, so many colors and brightness and all these little beautiful flowers coming in and being sucked in. And I was just talking to a friend the other day about manifestation and how when it starts, you're going to get little pennies, just that's it. You'll get some pennies. And you'll be like, come on, where's the flow? Where's the flow? And it's like a pipeline, a few drops before you get a trickle, and then you get a flow. So you can see here, things are in flow, things are manifesting, things are coming. They're just not fully here yet. So the more we stand in an energy of receptivity, and we go back to our grateful optimism, it's coming. Everything is coming. Everything is coming to me. I am ready to receive all the joy. I am ready to receive all the abundance. And that doesn't just mean financial abundance. That can mean abundance of building a new business, an abundance of a new partnership, a new love, a new location, a new life. Bringing things into that state of ready to receive. I'm divinely guided to be where I am here now today. I am at peace. When it comes, it will come because it's already on its way. It's already entered it's already entered this vortex, this energetic thing that you've created. We have created our own energetic pull from higher source. As we have been doing all this work, this healing along this way, all this going into the shadows, exposing ourselves and getting rid of egoic identities and being in our truth and our authenticity, doing the work so that we can step away from those that aren't in our highest and greatest good and discover self, our heart-centered self. So that's all beautiful. And I can't end a read without pulling a bitch slaps from the universe, because this deck is just too much fun. And that's what we need. We need a joyous view of the future and some more fun. Oh. Okay. We've got 3. I'll just take them all. Why not? Why not? Okay, so are you ready for these? This is a good read. Your ego will not magically disappear just because you finally realize that you are a soul. It takes years of listening and love and nurturing that bitch until it calms the fuck down. Be patient with yourself. I think this one's for me. Patience has not been my strong suit on this healing path. On my spiritual awakening, I've wanted to rush through this process as fast as I possibly could, especially while I'm in the darker of places, because it's unpleasant and uncomfortable and doesn't feel nice. And who wants to be in the yucky emotions? But you have to actually go through it. There's no way around it. You can't circumvent it. You can't get off. If you're on this twin flame journey, there's no off ramp. That would be nice, but there is no off-ramp. Once your ascension, once your awakening has begun, there is no other way but through. And that means going through the dark stuff, and it means going through the ego death. And if your ego was like mine, it's going to go kicking and screaming and fight it all the way along the path. And it makes it more difficult. So don't do what I did. But if you do what I do, I totally understand, and I have utmost compassion, because it's very, very difficult to let go of all those things, all those attachments, all our ways of being, all our thinking, all of our life in the 3D and in the 5D and in any D, to let go of things so that we can be truly in alignment with unconditional love. Yeah, ego's not on board for that. Ego is like, hey, they're not texting. You should be angry with them. Hey, they're not doing this. You should be this with them. Ego just is a yappy little thing in your ear that needs to enough. Shh. And if you need help with that, I highly suggest affirmations as a powerful mode and tool to help quiet that ego down. You know, letting ego know it's going to be okay. You're going to get through this. Everything is okay. So our next card up is, don't wait for the bitch slap to get your dreams started. Now is as good a time as any. Well, now is the only time. So definitely, if you're thinking, oh, well, in 10 years' time, I'll get healthy, or in 5 years' time, I'll retire, or in this, that, or the other, well, what can you do in the now to bring you one step closer to that goal? What can you do now? And what you can do now is able. Every day, able, A for able, A, achieve. One thing a day, just one thing. Just make sure that you're doing one thing that brings you closer to your dreams, your goals. B for bliss. What are you doing on the emotional realm to either allow and release the dark emotions to help cultivate that process of the spiral up into the lighter, blissful emotions? You cannot circumvent the dark to get to bliss. You cannot keep the grief, the shame, the blame, the lack of forgiveness, the animosities, the frustrations, the anger, you cannot keep all those like tucked away in a nice little lockbox and then be in bliss. You can't. You can't enter that with that box. You need to empty the box, and then as you empty the box, practice more ways to cultivate blissful energies. And it's difficult because if you're in Dark Night of the Soul, it could easily feel like you're in a vortex of darkness for an extended period of time. So understand and being gentle with yourself that hey, you're doing hard work. You're doing heavy lifting. You're doing warrior work. You're doing the mission of light worker when you are expressing the darkness outside of yourself and clearing that. And last but not least, you are enough. Stop fucking telling yourself that you're not. You wouldn't say it to your kid, your best friend, or your sister. Then stop fucking saying it to you. Absolutely. If inner critic is one of your issues that you are dealing with through this path, I've done a good bit of videos on the inner critic. I'll put a link to one of those at the end of this video, because the inner critic needs to be silenced, and we need to cultivate a practice of compassion, because as we learn to be compassionate to self and learn to love self, then we can show up in the world and be compassionate and loving to other people. So that said, I'm going to leave you with the final message that you are enough. Peace out.